in my opinion, based on my experience and the people that I know, because I know a whole bunch of brothers that marry white women, 99.99% of the time is because of culture. I think people get caught up in their emotions and get caught up in rhetoric and think it's about race. No, it's more so about availability to certain women and culture.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to Shimmer Girl Talks. Today's topic is probably going to be an incendiary one, not from my end. I just want to make it clear. I usually don't put disclaimers on videos, but I have a few videos coming up where I'm going to put some disclaimers, and I will put one here. I can give a flying flip who dates who marries who, be it a black man, white woman, white man, or any other race, could care less. But I'm chiming in because it's a current event, and I'm letting people know if you come at me sideways in my video, I'm not going back and forth with you. I'm either going to ignore or block you. So there's that. And I know you all don't care, but I don't care either, which is why I'm letting you know I'm not playing, because it's too many people who can hide behind computer screens or whatever and, put your face on your avatar and then come at me crazy. Otherwise, just zip your lip. People can date, marry whoever the flip they want. And here's another thing. The reason why, and I plan to do maybe a separate video on this, the reason why I tend to be more team, for example, passport bros versus divestors is because you can't cape for a group of women who shoot themselves in the foot. And I was going to have this particular video clip that I got from Chessa Zed, where this woman, black woman, just went ham on what she was and was not going to do for a man. And you have a lot of black women that feel that way. And then they sit back and they get into their little echo chamber, and then they wonder why men aren't picking them. So as you can see from this image here, I got it from YouTube, not YouTube, but Facebook. This woman said of the draft, the NFL draft stuff, I didn't watch it. I don't follow football. But she said, you mean to tell me there were no black women in these schools for these men to choose from? So before I go into my opinion, I'm going to share a video from the officer, Brandon Tatum. And check out, he doesn't need me to shout him out in any way, shape, or form. I think he's got like 1 million subscribers. But I think he can say it much better than I would be able to articulate it because A, he's a man, and B, he's married to a white woman, and he's been through this. So I'm going to share his video right here.
Short and sweet. The question is always posed to me, and people who I believe are not acting in good faith. Some of them may be jealous or haters. Some of them may be brainwashed or confused or even misinformed about interracial dating. So people that know me know that my wife is white, right? And then my oldest son, his mom is white. Me and her met in college way back in 2010. So people criticize me. And they criticize other black men. Although if you look at statistical data, most black people marry black people at like 80%, white people marry white people, whatever. It's just a phenomenon where there's a crossover. And people criticize me sometimes, and they especially from black people. Oh, you a traitor to your race. Black men shouldn't date white women. You just date white women as if it's some fetish or something crazy like that. But let me break it down to you. And I made a video a while back that got millions of views where I spoke about this a long time ago. But I'm going to give another statement about it just very quickly so people can understand. In my opinion, based on my experience and the people that I know, because I know a whole bunch of brothers that marry white women, 99.99% of the time is because of culture. I think people get caught up in their emotions and get caught up in rhetoric and think it's about race. No, it's more so about availability to certain women and culture. Normally, when you see men who make it in the NFL, NBA, and they go marry white women, and people perceive, oh, that person's a sellout or whatever the case may be. No, it's because that person has now been interjected into a different culture. And I said this in my last video about family, marriage. When you look at the statistical data, you see that 70+% of black households, children are born out of wedlock. I grew up with my parents not together. And so when you are involved in a culture that may be more appreciative of the family structure, or for whatever reason, the family structure is more intact, and you get to a point where you're outside of your childhood, outside of where you grew up at, and now you perceive that I want this family, I want this type of environment, then you go for the people that are doing that.
So as Brandon said, a lot of black men end up with white women or women of other races, particularly when he goes off to college, because of proximity and culture. And something that he said that I wholeheartedly agree with, if this young black male came out of what is the typical statistic, the hood with 70% single mothers, this is what he grew up around, he was raised by a single mother, and all of a sudden he meets Becca Sue, who grew up in a home with a mom and a dad, and her personality is wholly different than the Keishas and the Shamikas of his community that he grew up in. And so going back to the woman which inspired my video, who's to say that these men did not seek out black women first? I don't know these men, but let's just speak hypothetically. Let's say these guys did go to the black females first, and they were met with talk to the hand because the face don't understand. Yeah, you cute and all, but where you going in life? You don't have no swag right now. You corny, you this, whatever these women be telling these men that oftentimes makes them want to go to women of other races. A lot of times, black women don't want to sit and observe what a lot of black men are saying about us as a collective. And a lot of you simply don't care. And you don't care, but then you still expect these men to come back around and say, you know what, even though you dogged me, you didn't want me, I'm going to still pursue you. And what does that do? All that's going to do is keep her running or calling him a creep or using him, So, and again, I'm not a man, so I can only offer an opinion based on observation. Another thing, which is something that Dr. Umar said one day, that white women, he said specifically white women, they go for the long haul. They might latch on to a man, a black man, that they see has potential, that he's going places. And you've heard the term, behind every successful man is a good woman, or behind every good man is a good woman, or something like that. So some of these women might be able to use discernment and see that, okay, this guy is going places and I want to be along for the ride with him. A lot of black women, and you don't have to take my word for it, you can watch Ebony K. Williams and other content like hers. A lot of women want the man at the finish line. They don't want to pick the decent guy, the corny guy, the safe guy, the stable guy, while he's working his way up through whatever profession he plans to go into. But, they want a lot of black women, while these white women are getting their Mrs. degrees, shout out to Ebony K. Williams, in college, black women are being told to find themselves. Don't worry about settling down in marriage right now. Marriage can wait and all of that. And while Heather and Becky Sue and Kimber are getting themselves off the market at 23 and 25, a lot of women in our community are waiting till 35, 40, and then doubling back to say, okay, well, now I want this man. And Heather and Becky Sue and Kimber have already snatched him up. And of course, you have some Black women who also were able to snatch up some of these guys. And let's not forget, Simone Biles got herself a handsome NFLer or whatever. And what did Black women tell her to do? Divorce him. She's a pick-me. So that was my topic for today. Tell me what you think about these Black men having white girlfriends, white wives, and let me know what you think in the comments below, and I will talk to you later. Bye.